Well, that was some good opening music. Okie dokie. What's up, everybody? Now, a few days ago, I think it was not yesterday, the day before, I did a stream where I caught the genie, the 4 genies, the new one that was added in this game and the 3 other ones. And I also said I was trying to get this Pokédex completed. And through a lot of work, well, it took me about a day, but I got it all done. It's all done. Every last Pokemon did have to transfer some Pokemon in. I don't really care. We're here now to fight Arceus, and you know, actually, don't blow my eardrum. Here we go. We're here to fight Arceus, and this is the final fight. I know a little bit about this fight, but I obviously have not done it myself. This is, I hope my team is set. I picked up a team of some high-level Pokemon with some strong moves, you know, mostly, that should hopefully be able to do this fight. It's going to be a tough fight regardless. And, you know, it's been a while since I've done one of the Legends Arceus fights, like the boss fights, which we'll get to, and we'll switch it over in just a second. Also, I fixed a few issues from last stream. The stream is now running at 30 FPS instead of 60 because it was interpolating. This game cannot run at 60 consistently, and so it was interpolating, which I think caused a lot of visual glitches. So hopefully it should be a lot more natural when it's running at a capped 30. And also I should fix the audio. So here we go. Swap there. And then I gotta do the monitor output. Okay. So I got me here. Again, full Pokédex complete. And this is the team I'm running with. Got my starter, obviously, a level 100 Garchomp, Sentry, the Gallade, and an Empoleon, Dialga, and then a Torterra. This should be a good team, and stuff like that. But here we are at Spear Pit, at Temple, at the Sinnoh Temple, and here. You should be able to hear it, because I think I messed up and I muted it last time, which is my fault. Although I could hear it, but whatever. This should be fine now, and it should not be interpolating as much, so it should have less visual glitches, which I think was happening because it was good when, trying to get it to run at 60, when this game does not naturally run at 60. Maybe the Switch 2 will make it run a lot better. But yeah, so this is how I'm going to go for it. We'll start with Ghost here. This... Is it freaking raining? Well, it's not going to matter. It doesn't really matter. I decided to switch into the normal outfit, even with the original hairstyle and everything, because like this is kind of the final, the final thing of the game, and I'm probably not going to play this game much afterwards, so this is it. Just gonna save. And let's get ready to go. Let's roll. go. Stairway. It's the stinking power circle. It's the circle of hierarchy. We freaking know what this is now. Here he is. Freaking perfect Arceus. Oh boy! Oh boy! Frick! Oh, crap. You gotta dodge swords. Dang it. I'm gonna keep previous progress because I'm a trash player at this game. I was messing up. I was freaking not shooting my Pokemon. I was not even shooting the actual things. Trickle Meteor. One shot. One shot. Okay, makes sense. Oh boy. Continue battle. Keep the previous progress. Okay. I was stupid. I should be running. I should know now. Now I know where to go. Now I'll do that fight all over again. I can do that easily. So close too. Okay. Alright. No! No! I freaking do it all over. Man, I was so dang close. Are you kidding me? Okay. It's a tough fight. Dang it, I was so close. Alright, just cannot hit restart battle. Do not hit restart battle. Do your battle. Keep it first.
Okay, Adam's not up here.
Oh. Okay, here we go. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. strategy at least. Just send out Garchomp. Do this. Then you send out Dialga. And then we do Flash. One shot. Dang it! Okay, alright. Just how to not hit restart battle. I must be careful not to hit restart battle. Because I think I got it to the last round. Continue battle. Keep progress. Continue should be the first option, really. Even gets the option to reset anyways. I did it! Shoot, bro. Oh boy. Obviously, it's only been 30 minutes. And there is Arceus. Alrighty then. Okay. This is what everyone does. Okay. Yeah, okay. Palkia. Giratina. Wait, do they just like immediately disappear? Nah, okay. I think I just got too far. Need to get a screenshot. It's just a normal Pokeball. Here's perfect. Here's Arceus. Just... And we thought which was the light. Well, this is fun. I got Arceus. Like, it's kind of insane, actually. Like, you know, here's what I'm gonna do, actually. I'm gonna go to where it all began. Prelude Beach. I think that's what it's called. It's kind of funny. I had the whole team ready, but I literally was able to just tease it with Yug and Garchomp. But, Prelude Beach. Now, I'm not exactly fully up to date on what, like, because, like, this is how it works. Like, so Legends Arceus takes place about 150 years, I think, before, like, the main games, like, before Diamond and Pearl, at least, you know. So it's it's recent history, but also like not. It's the kind of thing where I would actually be interested about what they would do in the past future, because like they're like kind of thing. Obviously, there's things that I've done, and I'm not fully up to date on all the lore. I gotta figure that out. But like a lot of things, like Pokeballs are a recent introduction, so this is where kind of a lot of things of like what a modern trainer is, and it also is kind of a paradox loop, because we became a trainer. This character comes from the future. Now, I do know that originally you're probably supposed to go back to the future, like Arceus sends you back, but it's kind of a paradox time loop kind of thing where like our character is a good trainer because that's how it is nowadays. Like you can become those kind of trainers. They're a lot more common in the future. People together live with Pokemon and humans, like that's the whole thing now. It's a lot more than it was here. And so we did that because it became like that. But it became like that in part because we were sent back in time. So it's kind of all that mixed together. I think technically this means you kind of just live out your life in the past, which is kind of insane, but whatever. But I know it's set like this. It's about 150 years, and like it's based off a historical event of like people coming to here, you know, move into this, or the region's based off in Japan. So it's kind of based off real history, which is kind of why people kind of speculated that maybe Kalos would have been set in the past, Legends EA, because of like the Paris reconstruction kind of thing. Whatever. It's not. It's actually a sequel, which is better. And also because the one thing I have an issue with the past, kind of. And what I'm glad about Legends ZA not being a past game is because the issue is that like what this story is that while it has a lot of new stuff, it is sort of a retread. It's like doing kind of the Gen 4 story again in a sense. Not fully, obviously. It is different, but it's still kind of doing a lot of the similar things. And I'm not saying we probably won't do something similar for Legends ZA, but Legends ZA seems to be a more unique story, because it can't, like, what my issue was that if Legends ZA was set in the past, then nothing can really change. It's not really Pokemon Z in actuality. Even though this is not going to be Pokemon Z was originally going to be, it's a lot more closer to that because it is a sequel. And it actually is following up on things from Legends, from Pokemon X and Y. Which, we know that from AZ and stuff like that. Which I don't know how much they're going to do it. I would hope they do a lot of like connecting. But if it was set in the past, then yeah, we would run into AZ. And maybe it would tell us some new history. But it would still kind of lead us to the same spot. Which this one kind of is, and then we would have proto versions of every character. Lysander, Lysander proto would not be the bad guy. Maybe he would be, but he probably wouldn't be, because that's what this game does. Like this game's not going to do direct descendants. Or like, yeah, Silene is your good guy. Like, you know, Professor Rowan's ancestor is the bad guy. Like, you know, it's kind of like that kind of thing. You know, Cynthia's ancestor is like the ultimate, you know, the ultimate bad dude. And it's like, okay. And it's cool. Like, it does do, it works. You get to do the Sinnoh story, and it's like, it works. You get to see all this stuff, and they added a lot of new stuff, and they added a lot more lore, and they connected it a lot more. And hopefully they connected it more. They're not going to, but like, you know, they could do a lot more connections. But with ZA, it's a sequel. It's going to be closer to what Pokemon Z was originally supposed to be. And so much so that, like, I'm fine with it being, like, it's going to be Pokemon Z. Like, Legend ZA is that Z story. It's the Zygarde story, and I'm perfectly fine with it. I don't think we really need to, like, it's as long as it's good, obviously, I'm perfectly fine with it being like, yeah, this is Z. This is what Z story is. No matter what, yeah, there was probably an original version that was planned, but that's not really important. This is the Z story. Even though it's not what was originally planned, I think it's perfectly fine for this to be the Z story. I think it's set up perfectly. I have not seen any leaks. I know it leaked. I've not seen anything. Hopefully it stays like not publicly available, but it probably will. But it's not going to be a good version. If it's the Terror Leak one, then it's just going to be the like the 2024 one, maybe. You know, it's an older build. It's not going to even be like, it's going to be a pain in the rear to play. But yeah, I mean, this is a cool game. I think it's fine. It's not my favorite, but it is cool that they gave Arceus something. Like, they finally gave, like, obviously Arceus has been around, and they did give the Sinjo Ruins event, which I did play, and it's a cool event. It's a weird event, and they connected it to it. Like, they mentioned it with some of the old verses of one of the old verses of Sinjo, and then obviously the pattern, but also they're directly connecting it to the what was it? They're directly connecting it to well, the Arceus event, you know, the Azure Flute event, which is really cool because that event was never actually publicly done for a stupid reason. Like, he thought that it was like, the funniest thing is, I think, isn't it Monster say like it's because he thought people were too stupid to do it or something like that? It's too complex. But I'm like, isn't it like very, like, most events aren't that complex at all. Like, this ain't like the Braille puzzle for like the Reggies. Like, these, like, isn't most events, the thing is, right, like, events are cool, like, the events, they are cool, and, like, the Shinjo Ruins event is cool. It's not complex, it's just cool, it's cool story stuff. But, like, what I'm talking about is like, honestly, the Mochi Mayhem, like, event for Petra was, like, way more than, like, any event in Pokemon history. Like, it actually had story. That's cool. I hope they do more of that because it's so cool. It's an epilogue. You get to see everything. Like, oh shoot, bro, that's dang cool. But until then, I'm like, I mean, we're just doing things here. So, you know. But this, I mean, I like this game a lot. I think at some point I may want to do another playthrough on my own, honestly. Because the thing is, for me, like Pokemon Legends Arceus, when it came out, was kind of my return to Pokemon. Like, I at that point also I hadn't played many Pokemon games, but like I've been I was out of it for a while. I was really out of it. Like, I just didn't play Pokemon for a long time. And then but this was kind of like and also, like, when I played Pokemon, I played really older games. Like, I played like Emerald and stuff. I didn't play newer games. I hadn't touched Gen 6 since I played ORAS for the first time, like, years ago. And I beat ORAS, and I still have my cartridge. But, like, I didn't touch Pokemon at all. Much. I obviously was in the community and stuff, but I didn't play the newer games. And so Legends Arceus was like my return. And so my knowledge of Pokemon, and also just video games in general, was still very lackluster, and so I didn't appreciate it a lot. I can appreciate it more now, years later, and I think another playthrough would be nice. I'm not going to do that for a little while, though, obviously, but, like, I do appreciate this game a lot more. It's still not my favorite. I still am actually more interested in ZA, because, and we kind of saw it in those battles, the Arceus battle. Like, I'm thinking of the Arceus battle. I'm thinking of these boss fights. I was thinking about this last night, actually, when I was going over some ZA footage. Again, from what little they've shown, the battles now being real time, these real time fights, are cool, and it's a because, like, if you think about it, it is kind of stupid sometimes. Like, even like the battles or whatever. I mean, Pokemon's not exactly, but like you're battling Arceus, and you're battling these boss fights, and you're just throwing these like, except for Arceus, you're at least throwing like glowing orbs. Those you're just throwing these bags of powder. And I get what they're trying to do, but, like, they want to do, like, these real-time elements, and it works well, and it's cool. You get to dodge attacks that have actual, like, bosses. You know, some real action-oriented boss fights, which is more about skill. This time, it's more about, but they also had to put the Pokemon battles in them are kind of, like, they're not connected well. Like, they're kind of like, oh, now you have to fight them with the Pokemon. It is kind of, like, a little bit haphazard, or, like, a little bit just kind of disconnected. And so, I obviously think a logical next step is to have all the battles be like that, be real time, and have, like, you have, like, So now you have to worry about dodging attacks and stuff like that, but you also get to fight with your Pokemon. Instead of having them be two separate parts of a fight, they're now separate, they're not one and the same. And also it has a lot more, you know, you have to think about. You have to think about cooldowns. You have to think about area of effect. You have to think about charging time. Moves like Dig are really important now because now it can act as a dodge and an attack, which is really cool. Like it puts that into a more real-time element. It's kind of giving you the idea of like what the anime does. Where the anime is an adaptation. It's like any other thing that's not really the games. Is like an adaptation of like a Pokemon fight in real time. And that's what, like, it's an adaptation of like what the turn-based battles are kind of supposed to be doing, where it's a real-time element. And so that's like using, like, you know, it's really cool. And I'm excited also because, like, the thing is, for me, the reason why I didn't appreciate... I can appreciate Legends Arceus' system, battle system a lot more because, you know, its styles and whatnot. But what makes Legends EA fully cool to me is, like, it's going to force me... When I first played Legends Arceus, I kind of just played like a turn-based game. Because it still was turn-based. Obviously, there was more differences to it, but it was still turn-based. This time, it's going to be completely new, which is cool. And I'm excited for it. And hopefully you can't just win by tanking hits. And it's the thing is also, Legends games, it's hard to level up. Like, leveling up is very hard. Because you're always, and it's kind of disincentivized, because you just catch new Pokemon anyways. You catch so many Pokemon, you just kind of catch higher level Pokemon. So leveling is very tough. Like my starter is the only one that's like a really high level. Most of the Pokemon that I've caught that are high level, I caught them at high level. They don't really gain much experience. It's very hard to level in this game. And so it's... Hopefully you can't... I mean, obviously if you love your high level hunt, you can probably just tank hits. But like, even then, like, your whole goal is like to not tank hits. And it offers a lot more strategic value. And I'm excited for it. I'm excited for story. I'm excited for... You know, I'm excited for Legends EA. Obviously it's going to be on Switch 2. That's where I'm going to play it probably. Because... I'm trying to play these games with the best possible version, and I might come back to Legends Arceus on Switch 2 to see how the performance increases on Switch 2. But who knows? But like, I think also the thing for Legends EA or Legends Arceus, and even Legends EA to a degree as well, is that I've never actually played Diamond and Pearl or Platinum. I think I may have tested. I've done like some little bit, but not. I've never actually beaten. I'm playing through Alpha Sapphire right now, and I'm planning on playing through the Switch remakes after Alpha Sapphire, before Death Stranding 2 comes out later in June. And that's one reason why I wanted to get Arceus, because what they did was, and it's really cool actually, is that in Brilliant Diamond Shiny Pearl, when Legends Arceus came out, if you have Arceus on your save file, and Legends Arceus is going to save data on the system, then you get to do the Arceus event, which is really cool. Like, the event is now done, so now everyone can get an Arceus. Now I'm keeping this Arceus in the game. I'm not gonna. This Arceus stays here, but I'll be able to get an actual Arceus. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm talking because like I want to actually just talk for a while. Like I didn't want to just. It's nice to get all this stuff out of my system in a good way, and keep it up. Our style's fine. Again, like performance-wise, it's better than Scarlet and Violet. Even though I actually like Scarlet and Violet's games more, but like they're still very much a performance. Like it's not 60. It should be 60, and it sucks. Like I think at least Sword and Shield was 60. I don't know why. These Pokemon again, like they were just. It is rough, and I hope ZA looks a lot better on Switch too. And so like it runs a lot better. It's mainly frames for me. Like I really want frames to be really good, and I like it being at 60. Hopefully it stays at consistent 60. That's what we need. But we'll see. But yeah, that's cool. So I'm also glad with these starters. Like, I picked Typhlosion, and whatever the allegations are, whatever. I mean, they had some weird stuff, but it's not this Typhlosion. He's got the ghost in. And also, like, they actually fixed him. Like, they actually allow him to have his flames, which is really cool. I would love to pop him into like to Scarlet and Violet. I don't know. But this game also, what this game will do, I will say, is that what it did is it gave me my first proper shiny. It's not in the game right now. I transferred it out. I told you. I think I said that last stream. Unfortunately, I can't transfer it to Scarlet and Violet. The only way to play it with another game is through Sword and Shield. But I think it's in Sword and Shield. I think you can put it in Sword and Shield. But it gave me my first proper shiny. Now, obviously, you can kind of. There is an argument to make that, like, because obviously now that Pokemon are now, you know, it's now open world, which. And like, one thing I like about it is that, like, one thing that, and this is the only thing, people talk about, you know, sprites versus 3D models nowadays. One thing which I think they do, they obviously can make it run better, like having Pokemon out in the overworld and having it be more like based on habitat and stuff like that is really cool, and something that can only be done in 3D, which is kind of the thing. They just need to make them better. I mean, they obviously have to make games better, and I hope they do. Because I like this series, but I understand. Like, I'm not gonna deny. Like, even this, like, it doesn't look. This looks a lot better because it has a lot more stylized art style, and you know, it looks a lot better texture-wise than Scarlet and Violet's textures, which a lot of the time are very, very, very boring and very low effort, in my opinion. But they didn't. I mean, again, like Pokemon is the biggest franchise, and it's got a lot of technical issues. Like, it sucks that it's like the technical problems. I mean, I always consider Pokemon at least decently well. Like, it looked a lot better with sprites because it was a lot more stylized. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what Game Freak does. I mean, no. Although the idea is people are gonna be playing it pretty soon, anyways. Like, people. Like, the thing is, right? I say I hope it doesn't get leaked. It's gonna get freaking leaked. It's getting leaked. It's gonna get dropped. It might already have been dropped. Like, and it's gonna be like people are gonna be playing it. People are gonna. The game's not gonna come out till like November. I guarantee you it's coming out in November. They said late, and Pokemon's been a November title recently. Like, I think even to Sword and Shield, like Pokemon, and I think it's a November title, so it's always gonna be November, which is cool. Except for Legend Arceus, but like I think Legend Arceus was originally gonna be November, but it just got moved. So November. People are gonna probably be playing it in June. So like, yeah, it's obviously not gonna be the full version, but like, who gives a crap? It's also gonna be data mined. It's gonna be hard to ignore them. I've done my best. I've ignored leaks. I'm not gonna talk about them here. I've ignored certain things. I have not seen. I've heard certain things, and there's also things from the Terra Leak last year. But I haven't seen anything. Now, obviously, hearing things is also bad. The one thing I heard is something I expected. So like some of the things I've heard, I've expected, so it's fine, in my opinion. Whatever for me. I'm not gonna say them obviously, but like what I've heard, it's like, you know, it's whatever. I haven't seen anything. That's the biggest thing. I haven't seen. Like, to be fair, even for Legends Arceus, like Pokemon games always leak. Obviously, Switch games always leak. That's obvious. Like the few weeks before, that makes sense. Legends Arceus, I was off the. I heard some rumors, obviously, about like the Hisuian forms, but I did not see anything. Legends, Scarlet and Violet, I did not see crap. Like, obviously, I'm involved with the leaks. Like, I was involved with the Riddle. I kept up with the Riddler Clue stuff and whatever. But like when the actual leaks happened, I was out. It's gonna be harder because the game's gonna have been data mined and already done in June. So I'm interested. We shall see. We shall see. But that's gonna be it for today. It's fun to stream this little two-part idea of playing Legend Arceus. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing next, but it probably would be a bit because I really don't like. The reason why I stream like Switch games is because my computer, like, I don't play many games on my computer anymore, and my computer isn't exactly able to. I've had issues with streaming on my computer, and this I'm still using my computer to stream, but this allows me to like not have to run the games on my computer. But I don't really have much Switch stuff to play. Like I'm not gonna do like Scarlet and Violet. Like I don't like, and I don't think it's conducive to good YouTube streams of like just streaming and doing like random stuff, like you know the 9-hour stream, like the daily Twitch streamers thing. I don't think that's conducive to good YouTube streams, and so I like to have a goal, and that's it. You know, do it for an hour or two, and that's it. And well, I don't have any goals right now, so of course. It probably is going to be a bit before I come back here. Who knows? I might feel motivated to do it again, but it might be a bit. And because like the only thing I'll be playing on my Switch next is like Billy Diamond Shining Pearl. I'm not going to stream my first playthrough because I think that would be stupid, and I wouldn't enjoy it that much. So I'm not going to do that. So again, it's gonna be a bit before I come back here, and so in the meantime, I'll talk about a few things. Obviously, if you go to the old Dragon Clan channel, which is now the X7 Video Game Archive footage, or whatever, you can see me when I play games on PlayStation. Basically, I stream them there, but I don't actually like talk. It's just like it's really for footage purposes. I put a few games up there. I don't do it often, but if I ever play a game on like PlayStation, it's basically just like me recording my normal gameplay footage, like my normal game sessions, and it's just I do it because it's really easy to do, and it's for footage archive purposes. So if you want to see some of that, you can. And I did, as well as I mentioned last stream, content I'm planning on doing. I want to do some content on YouTube. It is just not gonna be like video content and stuff. It just ain't gonna be on this channel anymore. This channel is basically gone for video content mostly. If I do anything, it's like commentary stuff, which I'm out of recently, and I don't really want to get back into. I don't see a reason to. So I will eventually want to do stuff with that, hopefully, but that's gonna be a bit as well. I'm planning on doing some stuff. It'll be obviously related to video games, but that will happen, and that will be talked about at that time. So until then, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.